Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review on Tarte Shape Tape Foundation. Of course, all of us know all of the problems that they had, the color range which sucks, the undertones on which suck, and the fact that they could possibly have used the same formula. All I have to say about this is that I think all of it is super fishy, and if you're going to be coming out with a launch, come out with all the colors. It's not Tarte that just does this, it's all companies, but I don't understand. Like, if a drugstore foundation can come out with all shades for everyone, like, I don't know, the Fit Me foundations, why can't Tarte come out with, you know, all-inclusive shades? They said that they're coming out with more shades, but I don't understand, like, why you couldn't have just done it all at once. The whole thing is fishy to me. I don't know, but of course we all were super excited about it. So I have combination skin. I get a little bit dry through like my T-zone, and then I'm oily throughout other places. And then, you know, my skin does different things per day. So I figured it's a good thing for me to test something like this. I did get the hydrating formula because mattifying usually is not that great on me because I do get dry and I have a lot of dry spots like throughout here. The only thing I'm really gonna say about this is that I don't know, like, everyone was so excited about this launch. Everyone was so excited. Do I think it was worth the hype? No, it's not, but I'll explain why at the end, because I want you to kind of see what I went through with it before I'm just like, I like it or I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to experience kind of what I experienced. So the 10 tests that I put it up to is I did 3 different primers. I did a mattifying pore filling primer because I do have larger pores. I did a Smashbox Photo Finish primer, and I did a no primer. I did the first impressions on the product and the wear test, and I also did cream on top of it, powders on top of it, because sometimes powders don't work well, you know, with the everything on top of it. Like, sometimes it gets a little bit goopy looking, and you know, I did a nap with it. Because, you know, sometimes foundations don't rub off, and, you know, those are the ones you got to keep. But the other thing I did was I did a sweat-proof one. And the last thing I did was I compared it with a brush versus a sponge to see which one I got better coverage with, which way I would apply it, stuff like that. So, if you're excited for this type of video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe. It helps me out a lot. I put a lot of work into this, and I'm going to have lots of videos that are just like this where I do 3-day wear tests on all foundations and also on different products. I want to be very review based. So let's go ahead and let's see what happened. Okay, so we are going to ignore the fact that I look like a mess because I was not expecting this package to come in today, but I'm excited that it is. And we're going to do the Tarte Shape Tape Foundation. It comes in this nice little package. So, we're on day 1, and I look like a mess, but, okay, can we stop moving, please? Okay, so we're on day 1, and I look like a mess. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this package to come in today. I'm excited that it did, but it's kind of late. It is almost 3 o'clock. As you can tell, it is 2:51 if it says it on there. It is 2:51, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stick it on. I'm going to do no primer today because we know that it's not going to last a long time without any primer, because the primer does help elongate how long it's going to stay on your face. If you hear any noises, my kids are awake. I just had to sit down and film for the first day. Later on, this won't be a problem. I have washed and moisturized my face. That was like this morning, and you know, it's 3 o'clock now, so I got the color Fair Beige. If it says it, Fair Beige. I got the color Fair Beige. The packaging is really nice. It's really heavy. It feels a lot like this, like in big form. I mean, really. So we're going to go ahead and apply it. I'm not going to add a whole bunch of makeup along with it because, like I said, I'm not doing anything today, and it's kind of late in the day anyways, so today will also be a first impressions on this, and then I'll do a wear test. Every day I do a wear test to see how long it lasts. Since it's kind of late today, I probably will only do like an 8-hour wear test. I have no idea how long this is supposed to sit on here. I have more natural light today, so I don't know if that's going to help. I didn't plug any lamps in or anything to try to help myself out. Probably should have, now that I'm looking at myself. And it's supposed to have medium to, or is it supposed to have full coverage? My son's banging around down there, so if you hear anything, I'm just trying to be quick today so that we're not messing around with it too much. Okay, so that is one layer of it. I don't think it's bad by any means, but I have to say, like, I agree with a lot of people where this is not full coverage. I'm going to add another layer. I'm going to go ahead and add another layer because I don't think that this is completely full coverage. Now, I'm not usually big into full coverage anyways. I kind of like a medium coverage in the first place. But so like the way that it's at right now before I added the second layer was pretty nice. It's a little bit too dark for my skin, and it is what it is. I have no other option but just to make it work. It's like a little bit orangey on me. It's kind of weird, like the undertone is weird. I didn't expect it to look like that. I'm just gonna go ahead and add the Shape Tape on top of it. We'll see how that blends with it. I'm gonna have like a full face of makeup and I look like my hair's a mess. I have a sweater on and yeah, I'm just looking like a mess today. Shape Tape on top of it feels nice. I do have to say, as of now though, it's not looking, I mean, I guess it does. It looks pretty hydrating. Almost like, I don't know if you can really see on camera. This is like awfully close and personal, and but it looks somewhat hydrating. You know, you can kind of see it right there. It's not as illuminating as it looked like on some people. And I don't know if that's because they put a different base underneath or it's because I use no primer. I don't know, but we're going to try it multiple days, like I said, and we will see how it looks after. I'm going to go ahead and finish my makeup real quick, and I'll come back so you can see what the final look looks like. And then I'll say my final thoughts after I put stuff on top of it. So I'll be right back. Okay, so this is my final look. It's surprising that I even got this far on it because I have two kids that decided that they wanted to scream the whole time. So yeah, I decided I was going to show you up close and personal kind of like what is going on my face. So like, look, it's already starting to separate right here. And I literally, it is, it's 309, like 309. Can you see it up there? 309. This has not even been on my face for like 20 minutes and it's already starting to kind of, you see this kind of starting to bunch up in my like fine lines and stuff. I did not put any highlight on. I figured we would see how that kind of looks throughout the day. But yeah, so this is the final look for the day, and I'll check back in probably like, it's 3 o'clock now, and I powdered, so I did powder my under eyes and stuff, but I did not powder anywhere else. I don't think that it's necessary. It does feel a little bit tacky, but stuff just sticks to it really well, and it seems to blend nicely, except for like that little spot. But let's just ignore that, okay? But I'm going to come back at probably 11 or so, 10 or 11, hopefully. Yes, but I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, so it is the end of the day, and yeah, I have to say that it's kind of hard with the light in here. Oh, there you go. It's a little bit shiny. I have had this on for about 7.5 hours after 10, so almost 8 hours. It's a little bit shiny, but what I have to say is, first of all, the feel of it for the first day feels really nice. I actually forgot that I was wearing makeup for the longest time. I actually like scrubbed my eye because I was cutting up onion, and I like wiped my eye and got makeup everywhere, but it looks pretty nice. If you see any green right there, it's because I got tattoos. See those tattoos? Aren't those nice? But so I am a mess, so if you see green, that's where it is. But I'm ready to wash it off so I can go to bed. Yeah, first impressions for the first day is pretty good. And the color mismatch, it seemed to settle in my skin really well, and it looks like it matches like perfectly now. So that is not something I'm gonna have to worry about. It looks like it's gonna look really, really good. For me, this is one of those foundations that looks really nicely. So we will see what we think tomorrow with the new primer this time. We're gonna see what a primer does with it this time. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, so we are on day 2. So before I get started, I just figured I'd say a few things that I've been thinking overnight. And you know, my last check-in, I might have had an you know, initial thought, but when I sat down and I actually thought about it, you know, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Now, this foundation did look really good on my skin, and I did like the look of my skin at the end of the day. But this foundation's also $39, and I have to say that, like, as of yesterday, now we still have 2 days left. As of yesterday, I felt like it was just as good as, like, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. And one of the other ones that I like that is more on the pricey side, but I will recommend over and over and over again, is the It Cosmetics CC Cream. And that's because, like, you know, it has SPF in it, has SPF 50, you know, has anti-aging in it, and it looks so nice on your skin. It looks, like, flawless. It doesn't cover up a whole bunch, but, like, it's got, like, medium coverage, medium, and you could build it up. But this one doesn't have any of that in there, so there's no, like, anti-aging properties. There's none of that stuff. So all you're doing is getting a foundation. And if all I'm looking for is a foundation and a dewy foundation, I can find that at the drugstore. Now, that's just how I feel right now. It could be completely different. I'm not disappointed that I bought this product, but at the same time, like, at this point, I just feel like I would rather reach for my It Cosmetics CC Cream. I don't know what it's going to be like at the end of this video, but right now I'm just disappointed. So it is currently 10 a.m., exactly 10 a.m. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply a primer today. Today I'm going to use the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. You know, this is one of those things that it's more a silicone-based one. I probably need to find a mattifying one for this one, because the other one that I usually use is a hydrating primer. But because this is so hydrating, I worry that it's going to be... I'm just going to apply this to my face. This is one of my favorite ones, and I'm going to use primers that I know well. Because if I picked a primer that I didn't know well, then I wouldn't know whether or not it actually worked. Which is a problem that most people I watch have. They use primers that they're not comfortable with. Like I said, I don't usually use primers. I mean, I do. It all just depends on how long I want my makeup to last. Now, usually, I only need my makeup on for, like, 6 hours, and, like, that's it. So, for me, it's not a matter of having it on for a long time. But if you needed it on for a long time, I don't know. This one, I think this foundation would stay for a long time, but, yeah. Okay, so this is one of my favorite primers. Like, my go-to. If you haven't tried it, it's one of those ones that I think is worth the splurge, because it does make your skin look really nice. I'm going to go ahead and apply it this time. Oh, also, today I'm going to do one side brush and one side sponge so that we can see which way it applies better. I believe this one was supposed to be applied with a sponge, because they had, like, the matte one was supposed to be applied with a brush, and then the sponge was supposed to be used with the hydrating one. I'm a rule breaker, and I'm going to do it anyways without, you know, it mattering. So I don't know how I feel about this either. Like, some people, like, really like this type, but I think that it's just gonna, I mean, it's nice because it's easy to paint on my face, but at the same time, I almost like the pump better, because I feel like this is just getting, like, bacteria and stuff, like, all built up into this, and I don't know. And, like, the inside of it looks so weird. Like, pulls off quite a bit of product, but that's okay. So today's is the sponge versus brush, and then we will do other tests on top of it. I'll decide later which ones those will be, because there's no telling what I'll decide throughout the day. Brush versus sponge is first. So I'm going to take the brush or the sponge on this side so I can see. Now, like I said, this coverage isn't too bad, but it's not any better than, like, the It Cosmetics one. Okay, so this one is the e.l.f. brush. It's the 102, and it looks really cool. I've used it a few times. There's one foundation that I use that it works really well with, but the other one, it did not work out so well. So I don't know. It's interesting because it's got like the little bubbles in it, but we will see how it works today with this one. I mean, one thing is it definitely makes it easy to blend because it's so big. Oh, and I still have tattoos today. I don't know if you can tell. I still have tattoos.
Have you made?
Yep. My daughter made, who's watching me right now. Okay, so looking at it, I mean, I think this is like low medium coverage. Like I can still see spots coming through because I have a few spots. And you can still see that clear as day. Like that is still clear. Let me add another coat. See, that's the problem is like you expect Tarte Shape Tape if it's going to be in the Tarte Shape Tape line that it should be like full coverage. And that's another thing is like I don't want to pay $39 for a product that is not going to be full coverage. So I think I like the sponge a lot better. It gave better coverage. The sponge or the brush just seemed to like move it around. I like the sponge side. It's a lot more glowy today than it was yesterday. It's a lot more glowy. So I like the look of this at this point. It's a lot more dewy than it was yesterday. But I'm not mad about it. I just wonder how it's going to sit throughout the day. The sponge side is definitely better, but it's stickier for some reason. And then this side is a little bit more dry. I don't know. I don't know why that is. So it's also weird because when I first put on the foundation, it doesn't match my skin tone. But throughout the day, it seems to, I don't know if it just wears off and that's part of the reason it looks like it's my skin tone. Or I don't know, because at the end of the day yesterday, it looked like it had soaked into my skin. Not necessarily a bad thing, and I still had some coverage on it, but it wasn't like, holy crap, is that great coverage. Now again, that was only after, what was it? So I think yesterday's was what, 7.5 or like 8 hours or something. So that was a pretty decent amount of wear time. Okay, so today I'm gonna powder my face. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing cream contouring, and I'll put a little bit of powder on top of it, but not much. I didn't put any powder yesterday, so today will be full powder. Tomorrow will be full powder. I don't always do full powder. I'm just using the Maybelline Fit Me, and I'm going to go ahead and finish my face, come back, and tell you what I think. Okay, so this is the finished look for today. I just did light because I'm not going anywhere again, so, and if I do, well, I look halfway presentable. I did put a highlight on. I did the Mary Luminizer, the Mary Luminizer highlight. It looks really good on top of it, but one thing I noticed when I was finished with this is that my face looked greasy. It was just too much at this point. I repowdered and it looks pretty good now. But earlier, man, it was crazy. So we'll start the time, we'll say 10:30 is the start time. And I might do a check-in throughout the day. We'll have to see. I'm going on a cleaning spree, so maybe I'll work up a sweat and that could be another test for the day. But I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, so I have done a lot in this amount of time. It is 4:07 right now. So what, I started at like 10, so 6 hours. I have sweat, I have done my hair, I have cut my hair, emotionally cut my hair too. I was just like, I was looking at my hair and I was trying to brush it out and I was like, it's not happening today, I'm just gonna cut it. So yeah, this is what happened. But anyways, so I did all that in the 6 hours. So I've sweat like crazy today, and I have to say my foundation looks pretty terrible. I am not a fan. Like, it is borderline to the point where I want to wipe it off because I have to go somewhere later. So I'm like, man, do I just wipe it off and start from the beginning? But I want to make sure that I show you guys what it looks like, so I'm going to attempt to salvage it. I don't know if I can do it, but I'm going to try. here is what it looks like at this point. And as you can tell, oh, there's a weird light. It's like natural light right there. It is like bunching up right there in my nose. Down here, it is greasy like crazy. It just looks cakey, like, and greasy, and oh, it's just so bad. And I want to fix it, but I'm not entirely sure how. I think I'm gonna take, I don't know, I think I'm gonna try to take some of it off. I don't mind having a dewy foundation, but like this is like borderline greasy. It doesn't look as bad on camera as it does in person, but like, oh, I'm not a fan of it right now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if I can salvage it or if it's worth me trying. But yeah, I just figured I'd tell you guys what's going on. If makeup looks a little bit different later, it's not because I redid my face. I just sponged it. And I think that's all I'm going to attempt to do. Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to try to fix my eyes. But besides that, I'm not going to mess with it. I don't think there is any way to... I mean, it looks a little bit better when I buffed it. Now, and when I did sweat, it kind of came off a little bit. Well, actually a lot of it. And like, I remember... I was sweating, I was like rubbing my head up here, trying to be like I dabbed it, and I would like try to get my hair out of the way. Just, yeah, no, it's just a mess. So I'm gonna put on some eyeliner in hopes that maybe I can fix this, but there's no telling really. But I will see you guys in like another 6 hours. Not excited. Okay, so it's day 3 with this foundation, and I don't know, this foundation and I have like, I feel like we have been through something because I still don't love it. It looks fine, but I think part of the reason I don't love it is because of all of the negative attention this is getting. I don't blame anyone for having negative attention, don't get me wrong, because it deserves all the negative attention it gets. But it makes it almost not enjoyable to wear, and it just makes me not like the product, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to take myself out of that and just review the foundation, not necessarily review, you know, Tarte's ethics and stuff like that, if that makes any sense at all. You know, so far we've done no primer, we've done the Smashbox Photo Finish primer, and today we're gonna do the Boscia Perfecting White Charcoal Mattifying Treatment Primer. I've worn this a few times under different foundations, and it does mattify my skin. Now, usually I don't like that because I want a little bit of dew, but this foundation is so dewy that I almost feel like I have to have a super mattifying primer. I was going to wear a hydrating primer underneath, but like, as you can tell, like I added just a tiny bit of moisturizer, but this is what my face looked like before I added it. It's like over time, my face has just gotten oily. Now, like right now it looks okay, but like it has a lot more hydration than I'm used to, and it's not like, it's like grease hydration, not like good hydration, if that makes any sense. So it's like, I haven't changed anything this entire time. I take my makeup off the same way. I've been wearing the same products. The only difference is this. So it does kind of seem like it's leaving a little bit of a residue. Especially like right here. I did put the moisturizer over here, but yeah, it's leaving behind quite a bit of like a residue almost. At least it is for me. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started for the day. We're gonna do cream contour on top of this, and sometimes putting cream on top of foundation can sometimes make it like ball up and make the foundation come off. It just depends. So I'm going to use something I know has worked well with my other foundations and I actually enjoy quite a bit, and that is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit. As you can tell, I've used quite a bit of it. I enjoy it. It is a little bit dark on me, but it doesn't look awful. But yeah, we're going to get started. I'm going to use the mattifying primer and hope that maybe today I won't look like super greasy. Yesterday my husband said he thought that the foundation looked pretty good, but he said it looked cakey in some places because like I asked him to see what he thought, if he agreed with me without even saying anything. I was like, hey, what do you think of my foundation? And he's like, yeah, it looks good in some places. It looks really like really, his words were, it looks really hydrated. And I was like, so basically you're saying it looks greasy. And he's like, well, I didn't want to say it looked greasy, but it does. But so like in person, it does look kind of greasy, especially over time. And I asked him probably like 5 or 6 at night. So I'm hoping that the mattifying primer will help with that. The other thing I've noticed with this in particular is, like, I've said this several times, but I have pretty large pores and it's fine. But the problem is this foundation makes it so much more noticeable. So much more noticeable. Like, I wish I could, like, accurately show you, but there's been other foundations in the past that don't do that. They cover it nicely. It doesn't, like, it's almost like it sits in the pores. So currently it is 9:41. I'll do another, like, 12-hour test today too. At this point, this is my favorite primer for this because it has minimized my pores. I don't know how close I can get that you can actually see. Let's see if I can turn off the light. Oh, there we go. That's good. But I wish I had like a before and after, but it's mattified it and it's not as greasy as it normally is. It's still hydrating, which I'm okay with because I like a hydration. Okay, so that is cream contour done. It didn't seem to move anything from what I can tell. It looks like it stayed in place pretty well. The only thing is that some of it, like right here, I don't know if you can see it right here, it's kind of like clinging, and usually I don't have this problem putting stuff, you know, putting this underneath my eyes. Like this eye had no problems. This eye, for whatever reason, it like balled up. I did put powder on top of it, but I usually put powder on top of it and it's not a problem. And I always use the same powder. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my face real quick and I'll be right back so you can see the final look, and then so that you know that what I look like for the rest of the day and what I'm in for, because I could completely screw this up in a few minutes. But I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the final look. I think the lipstick I used was a mistake, but it doesn't matter because it's gonna come off in a little bit anyways once I eat, so it's fine. But this is the final look, and yeah, what I have to say so far is it's already starting to cling. Like right in there, you can already see it starting to build up. Down here, it's starting to build up, which sucks because I hate when foundations build up in here. And I have several foundations that don't, you know, build up so bad in there. Like, I don't know what it is, because it's like this every single day. It's not like it's been something that's, you know, not done that every day. It's been continuous. So that's one thing that I think for me with this foundation, it's going to be a continuous problem is that, you know, it's going to build up in those areas. So if you have smile lines and stuff, it probably will build up in that too. I'm going to set it to see if it makes a difference. I'm not excited about this because I hate setting my face, but
What?
It's just too much. We'll see if that mattifies it at all. I'm hoping that it will because it needs to be more matte and I need it to last longer. I'm almost half tempted to stick more of the mattifying. What happened here? It like made... This is why you don't do your lips first. Whatever, it's gonna come off anyways. But I'm like half tempted to stick more right there, but I think I'm just gonna leave it alone. Yeah, so I will check in again in a little bit. I might just do a picture form because I feel like it's the easiest thing for me to do and it shows you the best. Or I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so it's last night and basically it looks like crap. It's gonna be hard to tell on camera. You see it's starting to like ball up right there. See that? It's starting to like flake. And it's greasy. Yeah. It's like, it feels like there's like dry skin, but there's not. Okay guys, so at this point, I know exactly how I feel about this. Yeah. I don't know if you could tell over time, but I was not happy with this foundation. I mean, you know what it looked like every single day. Some other tests I didn't talk about was I did take a nap the last day, and it pretty much wore off of my face right after the nap. Kind of expected that. It usually does. The other thing is on day 3, my husband told me that my face looked so cakey. And like, as I could, every single time, it would just sit in my pores. I'm telling you, like, I have relatively large pores, but it shouldn't be sitting that much in it because, like, I'm wearing a different foundation today and it doesn't look like that. It seriously would ball up in my pores and it would look terrible. And, like, I mean, of course, since I'm doing the test, I can't really touch it up, you know? It would sit in the creases of my nose. It would sit underneath here. It just would ball up and it would look weird. And then I noticed that with some of the days, it would almost start rubbing off in, like, this area. It would start rubbing off along the sides. And then it would just, it's like it moved and it would sit in my pores and it would look awful. Do I think it's the worst foundation I have? No, I don't think it's the worst. Am I going to use it? Probably. The problem is that, I mean, like, if I could return it, I probably would at this point because I'm not super impressed with it. I don't hate it, but I guess I was expecting something different. And that's part of the problem is I need to separate myself from, you know, excitement with it and stuff like that. But I think a lot of us are going to be disappointed with this product. I think it was super hydrating, but the thing was is sometimes it came off borderline greasy and it just looked weird on my skin after a few hours. If I was only wearing it for a few hours and I wore the pore filling one, I think it wouldn't have been a problem. I think part of the problem that day was because I heavily powdered my face because I was hoping it didn't get greasy that day. And it shouldn't be that hard to make my face look good for more than, like, I don't know, 3 hours. But the problem was it would seriously look like crap after like 20 minutes. And I had just started, so I'd try to blend it out and try to fix it, but it's almost impossible to do it. So at this point, would I recommend this product? No, I would not recommend this product. I didn't try the matte formula, so I can't speak for that one. But for the hydrating formula, I'm going to say no. It's not worth the hype. It's not worth the money. If you're going to spend the money on it, I just don't see. I've said this before in one of the other videos. It had about as much coverage as the IT Cosmetics CC cream, but this one looks amazing on your skin. This one does not. This one I think is around the same price, but this one has SPF 50. It has anti-aging properties. What does this have? Nothing. It doesn't have anything. So if I'm going to recommend one, this is always going to be my recommend one just for myself. This is one I love. I mean, as you can tell, I've used quite a lot of it. It's pretty much flat at this point. It's one of my favorite foundations. Yeah, if I'm going to recommend a high-end one, that's what I would recommend. So yeah, guys, if you like this video, please, well, like it. And please subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot at this point. And yeah, I have a lot of good videos coming up, so I'm excited to show you. So I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.